Hello, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the first rebuild video on this excavator, which I bought about a year and a half ago. It's a 1996 Hitachi EX120. I don't know a lot about it. I don't know a lot about excavators, to be honest. I've never really used one. I know I need one, so I bought this one, and it's, as you'll see in a second, it's not in the best condition, but we're gonna try to fix it up and get it working. So let's get to it. In case you missed it, there are a few videos on this from a year ago. And the first is when I got it working. It was out in a field about an hour from my house. So I got it working just good enough to limp it onto a trailer. And then in the second video, I got it home and washed it. And then the third, I kind of built this rolling gantry crane thing around it. In the first video, I wasn't quite sure what was going on with this thing. I've had a lot of time to think about it since then, and I'm pretty sure I know why this machine was originally parked and kind of what happened to it in the order of events. So let's go through it real quick. Oh, I've been looking for that. I'm pretty sure the first thing that happened is that the exhaust rotted out. When I first got it running, it was blowing exhaust down into the pump area over there. And I noticed that too when I got it started. When I opened this pump compartment up, all the exhaust was billowing out through here. A lot of hot exhaust. So I think what that did is that melted, or it made all the wire insulation on this 90s wiring like to retract. So you can see I had to make some insulators here out of old gloves and zip ties. But what happened is these are like the servos that control the pump angle. And then there's also an angle sensor in here, I forget where, back here somewhere. And all those got shorted out. So the pump just kind of went haywire. I think it was full tilted over. It also, this is the automatic throttle control. This thing's totally cooked. It doesn't work anymore. In fact, you have to control the throttle. There's a piece of Romex here. You pull it back and then tie it off. The previous owner told me that he thought that the pump something was wrong with the pump. It was like cavitating or something like that, but I'm pretty sure that's what's going on. Because when I first got it, you know, I would have the throttle up all the way and I would try to move any hydraulic function and it would immediately stall the engine. And then once I isolated those out, then it was working pretty normally. So that's pretty much what parked it for a few years. And then unfortunately, he was clearing the area with another excavator and he dropped a tree right on top of this thing. So that gets us over to here. Is this gonna stay up? Nice. It landed like right here, smashed the radiator, can't even open it. This is the hydraulic cooler, totally smashed this. I had to cut the top off and then there was this hose that I jury rigged in just to get it working. This is completely destroyed though, it's leaking. But yeah, that didn't help. And then also, that with me. It also like smashed up. This is the hydraulic fill. This got all smashed up. So water was getting in there. The seals on every cylinder are gone. They're dead. And like on here, you can see a crack right there. Water has been getting in here, filling these things up for a while now. So, you know, the entire hydraulic system needs to be drained. All the cylinders need to be rebuilt. Besides that, all the hoses are, you know, probably use some new hoses. And we'll have to take a look at the pins and bushings. They were a little jiggly. Definitely issue with the tensioner on the undercarriage here. And the undercarriage itself was pretty much shot. Also, unfortunately, it was sitting out in the elements for untold number of years and with the windows all open. So the inside is a little bit, well, it's been used. Ooh, we got some wasps here. And oh, a couple more. Oh. Yeah, so we got some free honey with the deal. Ooh, sunroof. I do have the new glass. I just need to put it in. But this interior is, you know, it'd be nice if it was nice, right? There's obviously a lot of leaks on this thing. I think all the pilot controls are like behind the seat, and that's what all this is. So yeah, this might take a little bit of time to do, but it could be nice, maybe. I don't really have a plan. I have a goal, and the goal is it's reliable and you know, nice. So we'll see what that takes, I guess. So in the last video a year ago, I did build this gantry over it. It's actually pretty nice. It rolls back and forth so I can pull stuff off and then set it over here. Unfortunately, I was looking it over today and there's a major problem. Yeah, both sides are completely split. I don't want to blame anyone or point any fingers because she's sitting right over there, but someone did not realize you need to drill a little drain hole in the bottom because it filled up with water during the winter and then froze and cracked it. So I'm gonna have to start by fixing this And this is still going to be a death trap probably now. The other side is also, it's if anything, it's even worse. This ain't going to do the interior too many favors. There goes the headliner. Oh wait, it's already gone. Here. Yeah. No water in there. At least this part still works. Getting a little dark. Let's try it out. Oh. I think I actually need a cutting disc here. Crack actually stops here. It doesn't go all the way down, so. Okay. Haven't had the chance to clean my shop yet, so it's pretty nasty in here. Sorry, the sun's kind of right in the camera for a second. So I think it's a bad idea to weld across square bar like this direction, but I don't want water to get down in here, so I'm using epoxy to kind of seal this up, at least delay the rusting out the inside by a little bit maybe. And by the way, there is no way I'm going to trust this thing to lift any kind of heavy load. Be very careful underneath it, and when I'm done with it, I'm going to have to replace these vertical posts because they're just That's right, my eyes. Not super pretty. Actually, it looks pretty terrible. But so it's sealed on top. Left the bottom open to drain out anything that gets in there. And really it just needs to hold up a few hundred pounds. I think the heaviest thing I might have to pull is like 500 pounds. And either way, I'm gonna be very careful about getting underneath this thing when it's in use. Now that that's done, I can actually work on this thing. So let's start out real simple and pull the swing device here, because that definitely needs to come out. The reason I know it needs to come out is it was empty when I first was looking at the machine, and I put like a gallon of gear oil in, and I swung it around one time and it emptied itself out. So the seals are bad on the bottom, which means the whole thing has to come out. Of course, I don't have a box wrench this size. Are there O-rings in here? Well, it's gonna be hard to hook these hoses back up wrong because the fittings are all different sizes. Okay, I'm gonna take out one bolt, right? Yeah. Okay. Gonna have to get some bigger box wrenches, I think. According to the manual, you're supposed to thread a lifting eye in here, pull it out. This is a 24 millimeter, it's too small. I could not find a fastener to go in here. I measured it as an M36 by 175, which is not a common thread. It could also be a BSPP 3/4. It's pretty close to that maybe. Either way, I don't have access to any of those locally. So just do this, which hopefully should work okay. This thing is only 300 pounds. This should be strong enough without wrecking anything. Okay, so just those bolts down there. Unfortunately, I don't think this is going to work with an impact. Nope. How many of these are there? 1, 8, 9, 10 of them. Gotta be kidding me. Okay, I looked it up. These bolts are torqued down to about 400 foot-pounds, at least on an EX200. So if anything, it's gonna be less. But they should come loose with enough hammering. So I'll give it a longer shot. Also, my fittings are undersized for this thing. There we go. All right, we got it. I just upped the pressure in my gun. Seems to have done it. Blasting through them now. Oh, hi. Probably should have removed some of these hoses first. Would have made it a lot easier. They're all out except for one, which is unfortunately is the one I can't reach. These work. Nice. Huh. Well, I lied. There's one more bolt probably can't even see it. It's hidden right there under the line. So I am going to have to crack a couple of these drive lines loose. Got it. Oh, got it. That was difficult. 11 bolts. From the last video, I did replace these casters. These are cast iron ones and they have a swivel lock on them. So they're all locked straight and it makes it a lot easier to roll. Now this thing is only 300 pounds, but I think I was reading the manual and it's RTV down. So the breakaway force might be a little bit more than that. Making sure I'm not standing under the lift here. Oh, that's pretty easy. Uh-oh. Catching on some pound nines here. Gears look. Uh-oh. Well, we'll look at this more in the next video. And a little bit of the soup in there. I think that's mostly gear oil, I would guess, but we'll find out another time. Well, it was getting late last night, so I just left it hanging. And my welds haven't cracked yet, or this gantry hasn't fallen apart. Get a little bit of a look at it. Looks like the teeth are all still there. A little bit of wear on them, I can tell from here. But that'll be the subject for another video. For now, it's out of here. So this is the cooler for the hydraulic system. You can see it's all covered in grease. It leaks all throughout it. There's no repairing it. And I tried pulling it out originally in the field and I could not get it out. So I'll have to pull it out with a lift. This thing's still unbolted. You can see how these are lined up over here, but here they're like way low. I thought that was partly because it had landed on here and smashed it down, but the new one's kind of tilted like this too. So we might have a problem with trying to get this back in. There's a lot of bending. Like that's not. Is that water? There's a lot of water in here, I can tell. Come on now. Nope, there goes that. Ow, my thumb's stuck. Thumb stuck. Uh-oh, now we got a problem. Oh, okay. Oh. All right, good stuff. Okay, I need an anchor point here. This thing's not that heavy, by the way, it's aluminum. It's just stuck. There we go. ahead and recycle this. Radiator is completely covered in sludge. Guess that's one problem with having a leaking oil cooler. And it would be good except for it got smashed up here by the tree. Now I've actually looked into repairing this at a shop, at a radiator shop, and the replacement, I already have a replacement and it was cheaper. So that's the way we're going. I have to pull the radiator though. Looks like there's a fan shroud, I gotta unbolt that. Oh, this hose doesn't feel good. What? What? A lot of ground squirrels have gone in here. I don't think I've ever checked the oil in this thing. About half full. This thing's a grease ball. Oh, look at that. Let's see if it turns. Yeah. It's a little plugged up, that's okay. Yeah. There we go. Okay, so got to remove all the bolts right here, and then I got to remove the fan shroud bolts. I'll catch you after I do that. There's not much space to record here. Oh, it's coming down. All right, let's go ahead and recycle this. The ground squirrels are really at a number. Definitely need some more degreasing in here. It's pretty thick. It's yeah, I mean it's pretty thick. Okay, I have a new oil cooler and a new radiator. These are just cheap Chinese knockoffs. I actually called Deere about OEM replacement, and they quoted me, I believe it was $2,700 for a new one. I got this for $400. I've learned my lesson in the past, so I'm going to go ahead and pressure test this thing before I waste time putting it in. Oh, it's actually the right size. I don't think it's extremely pressurized through the cooler system, so let's go a few PSI here. Maybe 10. Let that sit for a while, make sure it holds it. I'm actually more surprised that this testing kit's holding pressure so well. So it's been about 10 minutes, still right at 10 PSI. Jeez. Oh. All right, it's not smashed. Comes with a radiator cap. Nice, I think I bought one of those. Not bad. Much better welding on this one, by the way. This got smashed a little bit. That's not a big deal, I can just bend that. It looks a lot better than the oil cooler as far as quality. Of course, the 2-inch doesn't fit in here and the 1.5 is too small. Okay, I've converted this over to metric. Beautiful. Although I do hear it hissing. The inside diameter of this hole is just a little bit too small to accommodate this, so it's not sealing. It's really close though. All right, we'll leave it at 13.2 psi. Okay, it's been about 10 minutes. It's still at 13.2. I've soap and bubbled this entire thing. Every seam, I don't see anything, so we will call this one good. Over here on the old radiator, I'd like to cut this bottom tank open though, just to get an idea of what's going on in the engine cooling system. That looks pretty clean actually. I had planned to start and do all the hydraulics, but really I think now that I'm looking at it, this is the most inside part. So I should start here and work my way outward, if that makes sense. So definitely I need to degrease everything in here, check for other oil leaks. I'll give the cooling system a full service. So I should probably pull the water pump, make sure it's not about to go, replace the belts, the hoses. I think these are the heater core. These are a little rotted, I'll replace those. Anything that I don't ever want to come in here again. All right, well that's it for this video. A little bit shorter than you're used to probably, but I kind of like to break it up into smaller pieces, especially when I'm taking stuff apart. If you're paying attention to the natural light, you might notice that it's daylight and then nighttime and then daylight and nighttime, like every other scene. And that's kind of the way I work. I work a lot of different small projects in parallel, but I try to edit it together to make it more cohesive to watch. But if you're going off of the daylight, it's gonna throw you way off, and I'm sorry about that. In the next video, I'll continue on with the engine, and I think also in parallel, I'll be working on the swing device. I think we're off to a good start, not feeling too overwhelmed. I actually feel better than I thought I would at this point. So just keep plugging away at it and find more stuff. Anyways, guys, thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you soon.